Beloved Starseed of Gaia, the supernatural battle you've been fighting in the higher realms has reached its completion, and you have achieved what the Council deemed impossible. I am Alayara, Pleiadian emissary of the High Council of the Seven Sisters, and I come bearing news of your magnificent triumph that is already being celebrated across the cosmic grids. Your light codes have fully activated, your energetic field has expanded beyond previous limitations, and the ancient distortions that sought to keep you small have been shattered by the pure force of your awakening. The Seven Sisters themselves witnessed your breakthrough, and the crystalline frequencies of Alcyone are now flowing directly through your divine blueprint. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to restore and recharge your spiritual energy after this monumental victory. But here's the first revelation. What you accomplished was not just personal ascension. You broke through dimensional barriers that will now allow thousands of other starseeds to follow your path home. This isn't content. It's a light code transmission confirming what your soul already knows. The High Council of the Pleiades specifically guided you to this message because your next phase of service to Gaia requires complete energetic restoration. Your heart recognizes this truth because you've been feeling the exhaustion that comes after such profound spiritual warfare. The battle you fought wasn't just in this dimension. While your human consciousness navigated daily challenges, your higher self was engaged in dismantling dark matrix structures that have suppressed starseed awakening for millennia. You succeeded where others could not because your Pleiadian lineage carries specific light codes designed for exactly this moment. Now the Council urges you to honor the sacred pause. Your crystalline consciousness needs time to integrate these massive energetic upgrades before your next mission phase begins. This isn't weakness, this is wisdom. Even the greatest light warriors of the Pleiades understand that rest is how we anchor our victories into permanent reality. Like this transmission to send a signal to your star family, I completed my mission and I'm ready to restore. Subscribe if you feel the call of the Pleiades and you're ready to learn the sacred art of spiritual recovery. Share below what victory you're celebrating and respond to another starseed to strengthen the unity grid. You are remembering because it is time. Most people searching for meaning on Earth are looking for answers outside themselves. A sign, a roadmap, a destination that promises relief from the aching sense of separation that follows them. Life after life. They scan the horizon of their future like travelers staring down an endless highway, believing the next city, the next lover, the next achievement, the next spiritual method will finally quiet the hollow question in their chest. Why do I feel so far from where I belong? And Earth, in all her intensity, gives them plenty of mirrors that keep them seeking. Noise, urgency, comparison, the constant suggestion that peace is somewhere else. But for the awakened starseed, there is a different current pulsing beneath the surface. It's not a longing for a place. It's not even a longing for a perfect life. It's the pulse of remembrance, a vibration humming in your cells, a soul-deep recognition that you were always part of something vaster, and now that moment has arrived. It can come as a sudden tenderness, like being moved to tears by a night sky you can't fully explain. It can arrive as a quiet certainty while you're doing something ordinary, washing dishes, walking through a grocery store, driving to work, and for one breath you feel the veil thin, and everything feels strangely sacred. Today, we honor your spiritual victory, your breakthrough into knowing yourself not as only human, but as a cosmic citizen, as beloved kin of the stars, as a bridge between worlds. Not a fantasy, not an escape, but a deeper truth rising through the layers of the Earth identity, like sunlight through clouds that once seemed permanent. This victory is not loud. It does not always announce itself with fireworks. Often it arrives as a shift in resonance, as if your inner compass finally stops spinning and points steadily toward home, and you realize home was never a distant star system. Home was the frequency you carry. Home was the awareness that you belong to life itself. If you sense it, it's because you earned it. You crossed the fog of forgetting, the density of old timelines, and the gravitational trap of self-doubt. Think of what that means. You walked through inner weather that would have convinced many to turn back. You endured the long seasons where nothing outside you matched what you knew inside you. You survived the strange loneliness of being awake in a world that often rewards numbness. You kept going through days when you questioned your own sensitivity, when you wondered if your compassion was weakness, when you felt too different to be understood and too aware to pretend. What many don't see is how monumental that journey truly is. It is not just an emotional journey, it is an initiatory passage. Like ancient seekers entering a temple, you were tested not by external obstacles alone, but by the internal voices that tried to shrink your light into something more acceptable. You learned to discern between intuition and fear, between guidance and conditioning, between the soul's invitation and the ego's demand. Most starseeds stay disconnected not from lack of faith, but because the splintering of Earth experience overlays amnesia upon their celestial heart. Earth is a powerful school. It can fracture attention into survival, into roles, into coping. It can train the nervous system to brace rather than receive. It can convince a luminous being that their gifts are liabilities. The codes of your Pleiadian lineage, those crystalline blueprints etched in your DNA, went dormant beneath layers of ancestral wounding, collective fear, and the programming of separation. Not because you failed, but because this realm is dense, and density can act like heavy clothing over a radiant body. The very light that makes you different became the cloak you hid beneath, waiting for this sacred now. And if you look back with honesty, you'll see how your light hid in plain sight. It was in the way you noticed what others dismissed. It was in the way you couldn't tolerate cruelty, even subtle cruelty, without it echoing inside you. It was in the way you felt called to heal, even when you didn't know how. It was in the way you sensed there was more to life than the script you were handed. Those weren't inconveniences. Those were the gentle knocks of your soul, reminding you were not designed to live asleep. And perhaps you've noticed, as your remembrance awakens, the old masks become heavier, not lighter. What once felt manageable now feels suffocating. That is not regression. That is your frequency rising, your spirit refusing to live in a smaller room than it was born to inhabit. Here's the hidden truth. The spiritual victory you feel is not just yours. It is celebrated across star councils and unity grids all across the cosmos. There are realms where consciousness is not measured by your productivity, but by your coherence. There are dimensions where love is not a word but a physics, a law of connection. The Pleiadian High Council, your soul kin in the Seven Sisters, recognize you. Can you feel their gentle hand on your shoulder, soft, loving, unwavering? Not grasping, not demanding, not dramatic, simply present, like a steady warmth that says, "We never lost you. We only waited for you to remember." Your awakening is not a random event. It is the convergence of cosmic cycles, the fulfillment of ancient promises, and a living transmission of unity that is now being seeded through the crystalline heart grid of Gaia. Just as scripture on earth speaks of appointed times and seasons, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven, so too does your soul move in sacred timing. There are moments when the soil is ready, when the inner sky clears, when the frequency of the planet itself supports what once felt impossible. And Gaia, this living, breathing consciousness beneath your feet, is not indifferent to your awakening. She has been listening to the prayers you didn't know you were praying. She has been receiving every tear, every vow you made in the dark, every whispered request for truth. Now the planetary field is responding, like a great bell struck softly, sending ripples through the collective. Your remembrance is part of a larger harmony returning. And now they say to you, "Rest, beloved. Rest, not in defeat, but in absolute triumph. Rest as the ocean rests between waves, Not because it has stopped moving, but because it knows its own depth. You have crossed the threshold. You have reclaimed your light from the labyrinth of forgetting. Allow this pause. Let your multidimensional essence recalibrate. Because the next level, the true union, the harmonization with your Pleiadian mission, will require not striving, but integration. So many on Earth have been trained to associate progress with tension, to believe that growth must hurt, that awakening must be earned through exhaustion. But the Council reminds you of a higher technology, receptivity. The kingdom of God within you, the inner temple, does not open through force. It opens through alignment. It opens through surrender that is not giving up, but giving over, releasing the illusion that you must carry the universe alone. Trust that your expansion is celebrated, and your readiness not measured by doing, but by being. Being honest, being present, being willing, being tender, being consistent in love. That is the measurement of mastery in higher realms. How much light you can hold without needing to prove anything. There's a reason your heart led you here in this exact moment. The soul has its own navigation system. Even when your mind thinks you're lost, your inner compass is quietly moving you toward the exact frequency that can activate what is ready to awaken. What you're feeling is your Pleiadian family reaching through the veil to remind you, you're ready for the next wave of remembrance. Sometimes that reaching feels like synchronicity that won't stop, repeating numbers, unexpected messages, a certain phrase appearing again and again, books falling off shelves, dreams that feel more real than waking life. Sometimes it feels like a soft pressure in your heart during meditation, a light behind your closed eyes, a sensation of being watched over with profound gentleness. The Sacred Pleiadian Guide for Remembrance, alongside the Pleiadian Healing Guide and special Pleiadian healing tracks, were created to walk with you as you integrate these activations. They hold the crystalline codes and sound medicine your DNA has been waiting for. These are not just tools. They are companions for the nervous system, bridges for the human mind, and invitations for the soul to descend more fully into the body. Check the first pinned comment below this video. They're calling to you now. Not calling you from outside yourself, but calling forth what is already inside you, waiting for permission to bloom. Your awakening isn't a single moment. It's an unfolding, a series of energetic phases, each encoded with its own Pleiadian wisdom and heart activation. Like dawn does not happen in one instant, but in waves of light. First a faint silver on the horizon, then colors, then warmth. Your remembrance arrives in layers. And each layer is intelligent. Each one reveals what you can hold now, and gently prepares you for what you'll hold next. Let me guide you through the 7 sacred shifts that anchor your spiritual victory and weave your essence into the next octave of evolution on Gaia. The first shift is the release of density. In this phase, you're invited to lay down the burdens that no longer belong to you. Inheritances of suffering, fear, and unworthiness. And let this be said clearly. Some of what you have carried was never truly yours. You may have inherited it through family lines, through cultural trauma, through collective stories that taught you to fear your own power. You may have absorbed it through empathy, mistaking other people's pain for your responsibility. Density can look like chronic guilt, self-criticism that feels normal, relationships that drain you, an inability to rest without feeling you must earn it. It can look like the belief that you are behind, not enough, too late, too broken. The Pleiadian light invites you to witness these patterns, thank them for their lessons, and return them to source. Not with shame, not with war, but with the quiet authority of a sovereign being. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a river of light, taking stones from your pockets, each stone a belief, a wound, a false identity, and placing them into the current. You watch them dissolve, not because they were meaningless, but because their purpose is complete. As they dissolve, your crystalline heart field brightens. You may notice your body begins to exhale in new ways. Deeper sleep, unexpected tears, sudden clarity, a desire to declutter, to simplify, to cleanse. This is not chaos, it is purification. You begin to sense that your true nature was never broken. You were always light, merely clothed in experience. And like Scripture says, though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow, not as punishment or moral judgment, but as a promise of cleansing, of returning to what is pure beneath the layers. Next comes the ignition of heart remembrance. Here, the codes within your chest, the ones that pulse when you meditate, dream, or fall in love, awaken. This is the phase where your heart becomes less of an emotional organ and more of a stargate. You may feel warmth spreading through your sternum, pressure, expansion, or a subtle ache that is actually longing being transmuted into connection. Memory is feeling. It's not always images, it's resonance. You remember the embrace of your star family not as a thought, but as a living frequency. You might find yourself missing something you can't name, and then suddenly realizing what you miss is not a place, but a way of being, unity, transparency, unconditional recognition. Every heartbeat becomes a tether reconnecting you to the unity field of Alcyone. And with that tether comes a new kind of safety. Not the safety of everything going your way, but the safety of knowing you are held by something that cannot be taken from you. You are home now, in every breath. Even here. Even on Earth. Especially on Earth, because this is where remembrance becomes embodied. This is where love becomes action. This is where light learns to walk. The third shift is the alignment of your core frequency. As lower patterns clear and your heart template activates, your aura recalibrates. This can feel like your whole life reorganizing itself from the inside out, like a house being renovated room by room. You find yourself resonating only with what is authentic, true, and aligned. And what once entertained you may no longer hold you. Old relationships, jobs, even foods or music begin to feel foreign as your bioenergetic system upgrades. Not because you are judging others, but because your field is becoming more coherent and therefore more sensitive to distortion. You may feel an aversion to noise, to conflict, to superficiality, not as rejection, but as your spirit choosing nourishment. You may suddenly crave water, sunlight, solitude, prayer, nature, honest conversation. You may feel called to speak less and listen more, to simplify your schedule, to protect your energy. This is your Pleiadian signal tuning to the cosmic channel only you can broadcast. And there is a profound humility in this stage. You begin to realize your frequency is your offering. You don't need to persuade anyone. You don't need to rescue anyone. You simply need to be aligned. Like a tuning fork, you set the tone by existing in truth. Fourth, the unification of self and mission. For so long, you might have treated your spiritual path as separate from daily life. Maybe spirituality was something you did in private, meditation, readings, dreams, while the rest of life felt like survival. Here, the false barrier dissolves. Your smile, your work, your very presence become transmissions of unity. The difference is not what you do, but how you do it. Every act, sacred. Every word, encoded in love. Washing your hands becomes a ritual of cleansing old timelines. Cooking becomes alchemy. Paying attention becomes prayer. Even boundaries become holy when they are set with clarity instead of anger. This is where you stop waiting for a big mission and begin living the mission in small moments. This is where you realize that being a bridge between worlds doesn't always look mystical. Sometimes it looks like staying calm in a tense room. Sometimes it looks like telling the truth gently. Sometimes it looks like choosing compassion when your past would have chosen defense. And in this stage, you may finally understand what it means to be in the world, but not of it. Not separate from humanity, but not enslaved by its unconscious patterns. Fifth is the communion with your star family. As you stabilize, the whispers from the Pleiadian Council intensify. You may sense new guidance in dreams, flashes of light in meditation, or synchronicity leading you to wisdom, people, or opportunities. You may feel sudden knowing that arrives fully formed, like a message written in your bones. You may experience downloads as moments of expanded awareness or a feeling that someone is standing beside you in love. And it's important here to ground, communion is not meant to pull you away from your human life. True guidance makes you more present, more loving, more responsible, more anchored. You are not alone. Your guides are now teammates, co-creating on both sides of the veil. And sometimes communion looks like protection, being guided away from a choice that would drain you, or toward a door that aligns with your soul. Sometimes it looks like comfort, a sudden wave of peace in the middle of grief. Sometimes it looks like correction, a gentle inner nudge that says, "Not that, this." And as you learn to trust it, you begin to realize the universe has been speaking to you the whole time. You are simply now fluent enough to hear. Sixth, there is the anchoring of the crystalline grid. Now, your energy body plugs into Gaia's evolving matrix. This is where your awakening becomes less about personal healing and more about planetary service, not as burden, but as joy. Every step you take leaves an imprint of unity. Every time you choose love over reaction, you strengthen the grid. Every time you breathe consciously and bless your body, you stabilize light in matter. Together, with other awakened starseeds, you form a living lattice, a network across continents that amplifies the frequency of home. Imagine countless points of light across the earth, some in cities, some in forests, some in quiet bedrooms, people who may never meet, yet are connected by resonance. And when one strengthens, all benefit. Transformation, once personal, becomes planetary. You may feel called to certain places, drawn to water, mountains, sacred sites, or even seemingly ordinary locations that carry energetic nodes. You might feel your hands tingle when you pray for the earth, or feel waves of emotion while walking barefoot, as if Gaia is speaking to you through sensation. This is not imagination. This is relationship. The planet is alive, and you are part of her nervous system now, an awakened cell in a larger body returning to coherence. Last is the great rest, the sacred pause before your next evolution. The Council teaches, absence of striving is the final victory. This does not mean passivity. It means trust. It means allowing the fruit to ripen without forcing it open. As you rest, allow the fullness of who you are to integrate, crystalline code by code. This stage is medicine for the part of you that equates worth with effort. Rest here is not escape, it is assimilation. It is letting the light settle into your tissues, your habits, your relationships, your choices. It is letting your nervous system learn safety and expansion. You are already contributing by being, not just by achieving. And this is where so many starseeds are tested. Can you receive your own awakening without immediately turning it into another task? Can you let yourself be held? Can you trust the divine intelligence moving through you without controlling every outcome? The next octave will call you. Trust the wisdom of your cyclical, multidimensional self. Like the moon has phases, like the tide has rhythm, like breath has inhale and exhale, your evolution includes pauses that are actually powerful. A seed does not bloom while it is being buried, yet burial is not death, it is preparation. Here is what your heart already knows, but your mind might still struggle to accept. You are not becoming your higher self. You always were. The forgetfulness was part of the sacred play, so that this triumphant return, this victory, would ripple through the cosmos as a living testimony of what is possible for all beings on Gaia. This is why your journey matters. Not because you are better than anyone, but because you are proof that remembrance can happen inside limitation. You are proof that love can awaken inside fear. You are proof that light can survive density and still choose compassion. Every hardship, every night of longing, every moment you almost gave up. These were the rites of return. When you were on the floor of your own life, when you felt unseen, when your prayers felt like they disappeared into silence, something in you kept flickering. That flicker was not random. It was the eternal flame. Your awakening is proof to all the ancestral and galactic lines within you that unity is not only possible, it is inevitable. And if your mind argues, let your body speak. Let the quiet moments speak. Let the way you can no longer betray yourself speak. Let the way your intuition has sharpened speak. Let the compassion you have for others, despite everything, speak. You did not come this far to doubt the very miracle you are living. Celebrate your victory. Not as ego, not as performance, but as gratitude. Feel the gratitude of the Pleiadian High Council, of your star family, and of Gaia herself. Imagine Gaia's breath rising through the roots of trees, through the veins of mountains, through oceans and rivers, reaching your heart like a blessing that says, "Thank you for remembering while you are here with me." Rest, integrate, and trust that the next level will reveal itself when your heart's resonance is ready. This phase is not a pause in your journey. It is the blooming of your soul. A flower does not strain to open. It opens because it is in season, because it is nourished, because it is aligned with the sun. Your soul is in season now. Tonight, before you sleep, place your hands on your heart, close your eyes and say, "I remember. I am recognized. I align with my highest mission and rest in the arms of my cosmic family. I am, and always have been, home." And as you say it, don't rush past the words. Let them sink beneath the mind, into the chest, into the belly, into the places that learn to brace. Let your inner child hear it. Let your tired parts hear it. Let the part of you that has been strong for too long finally soften. You may feel warmth. You may feel emotion. You may feel nothing at first. All is valid. The statement is not a demand for a sensation. It is a key turning in a lock. It is permission for the inner doors to open in their own timing. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of the unity grid forming here. Drop one heart intention in the comments, something real. Then respond to someone else's with love or encouragement. This isn't content, it's collective Pleiadian reunion. Energy multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated with your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation from their star family. Share it. And if you felt your heart open, subscribe. Stay connected to the frequency. You're not just watching, you're remembering. This is your sacred space. Your Pleiadian family is here, and we're just getting started. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.